Authority. So we see the Sprint initiative starting to take ground. We see some of the cross-city projects. We see some of the things that we've done previously in the Solihull bus lanes, in the Harborne bus lanes and others. And that's giving good credibility to those scheme developments with government as well. In terms of the buses and the cleanliness, that's a really important one to us also. So most of the bus operators, all of our bus operators, I think, are now undertaking this process called fogging. I hope nobody asks me the details of fogging because I'm not a scientist and I don't know. But some of my colleagues may. But actually, the purpose of the fogging is it's part of an enhanced cleaning regime that also does a mist cleaning approach on the bus, which prevents germs from holding. And therefore enables them to be better protected during the course. But we've actually added to that, there is additional cleaning of those buses within the depots and also extra within service. Now, within service actually doesn't necessarily highlight a huge difference, but what it does do is it adds a good level of confidence to the public who see that happening on the network as well as they do on the trains. And the other point that you raised around the face coverings and hand sanitizer, we actually did look at whether there was any potential opportunities for us to be working with operators around hand sanitizer. The process of that seemed to be hugely cost prohibitive in terms of not only installing it, but then managing it on the network as well. But what we have been doing is giving out tens of thousands of face coverings through the pandemic. And we've just recommenced some of that today in line with the face covering message that we expect our customers to respect each other and to support the network more widely. So that is happening then live out on the network. We still have quite a lot of those in stock, so we intend to continue that for as long as we can.
Thank you. I don't know whether John's on the screen. He's the bus guy, if you like.
Yeah, hi. Kath, thanks for that. I was just put my hand up to answer the points that Pete's just raised. The only thing I would add is that National Express also sit with us in UTCC as well. So that aids in managing the congestion and also ensures that they get the latest intel with regards to congestion or any incidents on the network, so we can feed that back to them direct and they can get that message out to the drivers. But that also works the other way as well, so the RTCC benefit from getting that live feedback from the National Express drivers back into the network also. Okay, thank you.
And we will be having a visit to the RTCC and the Safer Travel Suite as soon as possible. Definitely for new members to this committee. But I think longer standing, well, I won't say older ones, but longer standing ones, members may want to look at the RTCC in action, which they might not have had an opportunity to do so far. So thank you for that. Any more comments? Okay. Well, thank you for that, Pete and John. Let us move on. Thank you. Right, at item 12, there are no transport reports going to the Combined Authority on Friday, but on their original forward plan, there were allegedly two. One on the West Midlands Rail and Department for Transport collaboration agreement, and the other one on the Department for Transport Zero Emissions Bus Fund to approve the full business case for the Combined Authority's bid for funding. Now, I don't know quite what's happened to these. I thought there was a deadline for the Zero Emissions Bus Fund application, and that was going to be for Coventry. Oh, no, that was the electric bus. Yeah, okay. So what's happened to these two reports? Have they been delayed or?
Chair, I can pick up on both of those very briefly. The first one with regards to Zebra and the zero emission proposal. So the good news is from this that the West Midlands Combined Authority, the Delivered Through Transport for West Midlands, have been shortlisted by government on its proposals to a government bid for Zebra, which is zero emission buses regional activity, I think. So I think that's where they got Zebra from. It's a good job they didn't launch a hippopotamus scheme, otherwise we'd struggle with that one. But the proposal was for a large scale rollout of zero emission buses across the West Midlands, supporting a large bid for hydrogen buses with National Express, and also a number of electric buses for tendered bus services. Those bids were submitted as an expression of interest. Government have shortlisted the WMCA bid, but due to the approach and the timescales, it now requires government to receive a full business case from the Combined Authority by no later than the 20th of August. So it would be impossible for a full business case to be developed to go to approval for the Combined Authority in July in order to then go on and meet the deadlines. So it was agreed with the Department for Transport that whilst we would develop a full business case, which will be highlighted to the Combined Authority through the financial monitoring report on this cycle of reports, and then simultaneously we will be developing the full business case in tandem with that, and should that full business case be approved by government, it will then come back through the cycle and go to the Combined Authority meeting in September for approval. So it means that the work will continue in the background to develop the business case, but then they will seek approval later on, subject to government highlighting that we have been successful through that next stage of the bid. We've also been clear through the financial monitoring report that this would not expose the Combined Authority to any additional risks, and that the process will look to mitigate the CA of any risks through that process through September. So that relates to the first report. The second report, which I think pertains to the rail proposals, I think there again, because the Williams SHAP report that was highlighted and referred to by Tom earlier on in the meeting was published only in late May, and that resulted in a request from the Mayor and others to ensure that we had fully reviewed that in line with the report that was going, and therefore that report also is being reviewed and will go to the September WMCA. So hopefully that clears both of those.
Okay, so they've been put back, that's fine. So yes, and to join two other transport reports at that meeting.
That's right.
So it could be quite busy on September 13th if we're going to cast an eye over them. Thank you. Now, item 13, member engagement groups update. This is our first go at this on our new system of being more transparent about what the member engagement groups have been discussing. And we received a really fresh off press update this morning, because since Tanya produced the original report, the Safer Travel and the Rail and Metro MEGs had met. And you'll also find in the brand new pack a reminder of the sprint progress from the previous month, from June. Richard has produced the action notes from the Rail and Metro lead member group, which is a bit over and above the summary that's in the updated paper. Has everybody received this from Richard as he was going round? No. Well, then we need to pass them round somehow. Perhaps if I put them here and you can come and collect them on your way out. It's just the actual action notes from the Rail and Metro group that met last Monday after the original papers were produced. So hopefully we can get a regular churn of these MEG summaries out to everybody at our future meetings. Are there any comments on this item? It is important that people attend the member engagement group so we can get a fair spread geographically and politically across these key areas of transport activity in our region. If you can't attend, please just drop your apologies to either the lead member of that particular MEG portfolio or the officer who's sending out the invites, so that we know. That's a matter of courtesy. they should have by now, I think we've all produced a list of meeting dates for the year as well. So you can get them in your diary and start looking out for the invites and the agendas as we go along. Okay, shall we move on then? We'll look at the date of the next meeting. That will be Monday the 13th of September at 1 o'clock, we think. But again, keep your eyes on your emails over your August, your summer. Whether it'll be a break for many or any of us, but certainly during the summer. Oh dear. I suppose before I go, we need to congratulate Anne Shaw, who has been appointed as Managing Director of Transport for the West Midlands, interim, while Laura has moved onwards and upwards to be the interim Chief Executive of the Combined Authority. So well done, Anne. And do we know who's actually covering for Anne in her original directorship?
We don't, Chair. No, not as of yet. But I am meeting with Anne in the coming days just to pick up and hear around that as well. And just to note also, I have agreed with Anne that what I will do is continue the role to be lead director to support the Transport Delivery Committee.
Good. Right, pleased about that. So thank you everybody for coming along.